I don't know, football is just like gonna be weird for me every time I go, but today I took the girls, and when we first got there, I thought I saw someone that I recognized, but I wasn't sure, so I wasn't gonna walk up to them. That's like, he was where I could see him, like, enough that, like, I kind of looked head to toe, and the only thing that I, like, thought might be my old friend was the shoes, so I was like, probably not him. So, then I started knitting, and the girls were playing, and then my oldest daughter ran up to me and said that a girl was throwing cattails at her. I was like, they're cattails, like, that's how bad could it be? So that's like, I followed her over, and I watched, and as soon as she went to go down the slide, this little girl, like, smashed her in the face with cattails. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, do not do that to her. And this little girl looks at me and goes, I didn't. And I went, yeah, you did. I just watched you. And she went, no, I didn't. And I was like, okay. So then she goes on to say that I'm weird. And so I said, you're a liar. And then she said that I was probably on drugs, doing lots of drugs, probably downtown buying lots of drugs. And I was just like, wow, look at you with all those big words. I wasn't, I was being petty, and I don't know what got into me. But I've never been talked to like that by a child. Like, and I was just so surprised that she would be willing. Like, I could have grabbed her. Like, there's just no fear in kids anymore. Like, I never would, but it's still. So I ended up taking my phone out because she kept looking at me. Like, she kept like staring daggers at me, and she kept like flipping me off and sticking her tongue out at me. So I was like, I'm gonna record this. Like, I'm gonna get this on camera. So I just recorded my girls because, like, she kept sticking her head out. Like, I didn't have to go, like, follow her around or anything. Like, she was putting herself in the way. So then all of a sudden she goes, you were recording me. I'm gonna get security. And so I was like, we're in a public space. Good luck with that. Like, and she was like, no, I saw you recording me. And so I was like, I have better things to do. I'm really not that concerned with you. Like, I don't want you on my camera. And she ended up going to get her mom. And her mom just kind of like stood away from the park, and they stayed there for a bit, and I could tell her mom was like watching me, which, like, I understand if my kid would have ran over and told me somebody was being weird. Like, I get that, but the way that she kept looking at me, I was like, this is this kid's mother. Like, the daggers I was getting, like, it was like the same look. Like, I can't even describe it, but yeah, it was so weird. But she kept telling all the other kids that I was recording them. And so, like, kids would come up to me and go, like, are you recording us? And I'm like, no, I'm just recording my kids. Like, it was really, really strange. Like, to have her turning people against me, it was, like, so crazy that a child would know to do that sort of thing. So, eventually, the guy who I thought was my friend, like, looked like my friend, walked over to the mom, and they were talking. So I was like, okay, that's definitely not him. But it was. That's all of a sudden he just went, okay, that's, hey Sarah, like, how you doing? And I was like, oh my god, like, wow. I have no idea whose kid that was. Like, I'm still not really sure. But it was so weird to see him, and yeah, that's I introduced him to my oldest daughter. I went, this is my friend James, and she went, oh, James, because I've told her stories about, like, growing up and stuff. Yeah, but then there was a boy. I couldn't guess his age. I'm so horrible at that. But he had like possibly autisticness, Um, he had gotten hurt or something, and so James went over to like talk to him. So I went back to my stuff, and um, so Tim shows up with his woman, and she has a little daughter that gets along with my girls so well, like so well. um, yeah, so we were really happy that they showed up there. But I wasn't, I missed what happened with her and a little boy. But all of a sudden, I just saw my ex, like over there and, like, screaming at her, like, to get over there. And, like, I know that I, talked to him about, like, yelling at kids in front of other kids. That I know that I did. But that she was fine until she got off the play structure, and then he told her to go, like, over to her mom, and that she started bawling, and, like, it hurts my heart because she looks at me while she cries. Like, I swear to God, and I can feel it. I can feel her looking at me while she's crying. So I ended up, like, okay, no. So when Tim was following behind her, and then my oldest daughter was, like, trying to catch up to him, trying to explain, like, what had happened, because she didn't want her friend to get in trouble. But so just I had gotten there up, like, caught up to them just in time to hear Tim say, I really don't want to hear it. I'm not in the mood. And I was just like, settle down. Like, I don't care what mood you're in. Like, what are you being short with my kid for? Like, and it made me sad that's my boys have to go home with him like that. And it's so frustrating. I used to always try to be so careful not to make him mad, but now, like, if, like, just his life is making him mad, I have no control over that. And my boys have been so, like, miserable looking lately, and, like, I'm like, are you okay? Like, is there something wrong? Like, and they don't want to talk about it. I don't know what to do.